today's strategy section, we're going to be looking at a very good trading opportunity that we saw yesterday, and that trade is running very well. So I would like to review with everyone how we got that smart entry and how far this trade is going. All right, so this is GBPJPY. One very important thing that you must always check when you are looking for a good trading opportunity, one is to know the market direction. If you know the market direction, the next question will be on your chart. Where are the areas of value, your areas of interest? Because in trading, you are not chasing the market. You have to wait for the market to come to you. And over the time, we have trained a lot of students on how to identify these areas that price will usually come back to, all right, to pick up more orders. First, I said you must know your market direction. In what direction is this market going? What is the market environment? And then you must know those specific areas on your chart where price will come back to retest or where price will get to, to change its direction. And this has been consistent over the years. Fine. Looking at this chart, this is GBPJPY. It's very obvious that this is a bullish trend. This is an uptrend in the market. All right, on the daily time frame. This is an uptrend in market. Market is moving up, down, up, down. All right, so it established the market is moving upwards, and it is easier for you to identify a good opportunity to buy. All right, on the daily time frame, I've seen this. What are those specific areas or zones that I'll be expecting the markets to get to? You can use either your trend lines, you can use demand and supply, support and resistance. These are very simple principles that you can apply. And of course, watching the type of candlesticks that shows up at those areas. So I'll move straight to the 4-hour time frame. Then you can see something here. This is a trend line. You can see this trend line. Price in making, price makes these kinds of movements. It will make an impulse, it will correct, it will make an impulse and then correct. That's when it is trending in the upward direction. Okay, so what causes this retracement, what you call retracement, okay, can be because of profit taking. All right, those who entered long positions with huge volumes are taking profit, and when that happens, that it will create what we call an imbalance. That imbalance will cause price to drop. All right, that is one reason. The second reason could be, the market makers, the big financial institutions, all right, the banks and hedge fund organizations, they drive these market directions. So sometimes they have some areas of interest, what they call demand and supply. All right, so when they take a trade from a particular zone, they leave some limit orders there. For instance, here, this could be maybe a demand zone where they picked up this trade that caused the market to push upwards. Okay, so leaving some limit orders here. So they usually will come back to that place and pick up the remaining orders and then cause price to move. Whatsoever you are using or whatever strategy you are applying to identify your zones, these areas of interest in the market, you should know what is the principle behind it. But firstly, I said in identifying a very good trading opportunity, you must know the market direction by looking at that chart on a high time frame. I use my daily time frame to observe the GBPJPY pair, and we confirm that this market is a bullish market, and in which case I want to look for opportunity to enter a trade in the buying position. I want to enter the trade in the buying position. So the next is for me to identify those areas of interest on that chart where price will definitely come back to for me to join this trade if I missed the first opportunity. Now you can see just simple analysis here. Price is making all these high highs, high lows. Okay, it got to this point, it hit this level of resistance. This is a level of resistance here. It retraced down, hit it again a couple of times and broke above it. So when it breaks above it, a retest of that zone is what we call confluence, the previous level of resistance becoming support. We usually will look up for that, look forward to that happening. You can see that's why I drew this line. Is a key level indicator here. All right. So next, I'm looking at the swing lows and swing highs in this market. Right. So let's identify them. This is a swing low, swing high, swing low here, swing high. All right. So you can see here these are same levels. Now it broke from this point and get here. So this is a significant swing low, and then here is a significant, swing high. So we're going to be measuring using our Fibonacci retracement tool. I use that tool a lot of times in the market. All right. So I use my Fibonacci retracement tool because it also shows me an area of interest. You can see here my area of interest in this is between the 50 and the 61.8 retracement zones. You can see here, this is an adapted, a customized Fibonacci retracement. Of course, we know we have the 23.6, that's 8.2, and of course the 50%. You can't see it here, I removed all those ones. I'm only concentrating on the 50% retracement and 61.8 retracement levels. All right, and it now coincided with my confluence zone, previous level of resistance, which I anticipate here becoming an area of support that will cause this trade to push up. So I have three levels of profit here. All right, here is the first level. You can see this high, the previous swing high. That's why I chose here, and I have my minus 0.26%, which is the next swing, high. And of course, I had to use this zone. You can see there are some liquidities that we have swept here. So I take this level as another level for profit taking. And of course, here is my entry. I come just slightly below the 61.8 here and put my stop loss. Okay, you can see here there is an engulfing bullish engulfing pattern. So there's some patterns you can be looking at. You can scale down to the lower time frame, maybe 1 hour time frame, and begin to look for some candlesticks patterns that you can find to enable you take a trade. You see, if you go to the 4 hour time frame, that's where I set up all the indicators for the entries, the take profit levels, and the stop loss, and the entry. But moving to lower time frame here, you can see something. You can see here price has done this W pattern, which is so nice for you to take a trade from. Okay, you can see how this level was tested, retested, it broke it, came back to it again, and this is where we are pulling our trigger. On 1 hour time frame, you also see that this trend line, this down trend line here has been broken. This is a counter trend line break that's been broken. If you've not entered this trade, you can also wait. There could be a possibility of market retracing back into the zone before we go upwards. But what is certain here is that this is an uptrend which is confirmed, or rather underpinned by a fundamental. What's that fundamental? There is an interest rate differential between the United Kingdom and Japan, okay, the yen and the pound. So that is causing this market to become so bullish. Okay, so we'll see how this plays out. We're going to bring you updates on this. The expectation is for price. It may not just spike up to this level. Okay, you might have it pushed up. It swings up like this and down and up. So don't run chasing the market. All you do is to set up your key levels, set up your areas of interest, the point of entries, mark it very well, whether you're using the demand and supply, support and resistance, whatever works for you. You must know that. And of course, you should know the market direction, what is really behind that market direction, and then wait for price to come into your area of interest, but test it over time. You definitely be getting at least, whenever the setup comes, you can get at least 3 out of 4 times or 4 out of 5 times that setup shows up. And of course, I also want to advise, before you take a trade, make sure you check your Forex Factory news calendar to be sure there is no news that will counter these your trade entries. Okay, so let's see how it goes out. To see you again in the next setup. Thank you.